We have to kind of keep it PG for sure because the Thunderdome group, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll try our best for sure.
All right.
What's going on, everybody? You know who it is. Ed the Mountie, and we have a special guest in the house, Mr. Aaron Jolly. Aaron, how's it going, brother?
It's going excellent. Thanks for having me. And in traditional Stone Cold form, I poured myself a little shot of JD.
How do you send me one via web conference podcast? How do we do it?
I'm running a little low, buddy. So
I'm sure you could squeeze one more shot in there. You know, you gotta have one. You gotta have one for me. Does that sound like a fair trade-off?
Sounds good, man.
Awesome. So check this out. You know, it's WrestleMania season. It was. It came and went, and here we are. So, you know, we're streaming this live on YouTube on Mountie's Corner. We're streaming this live on Mountie's Corner on my Facebook group, and we're also obviously streaming it live to the WWE Thunderdome group on Facebook. Hope you guys are all doing well. Do yourself a favor before you comment. Give StreamYard the position or the permission, I should say, to kind of allow to see your name. That way I can hopefully see your name. Now, I will say this is the first time that since I've upgraded, that I'm able to, you know, stream it on multiple platforms. So what I mean by that is I hope that I'll be able to kind of see your comments on my side. If not, I'm going to have my phone open and I'll try to answer as many questions and comments as possible. But yeah, it's good to see all of you guys here. And, you know, whenever you guys have a comment, I'm going to pop it up on the screen like you see below. Unfortunately, my trusted and beloved co-host of Beyond the Thunderdome couldn't make it tonight, Mr. Rob Cohen, a.k.a. Bad News Brown, I think his name. Bad News Bear, I should say. So much wrestling.
You gotta get him the leather glove there and the
Bad News Bear. We miss you. He wasn't able to make this one, unfortunately. So, you know, he's here in spirit, and hopefully we can have a good time, you know, talking about all things wrestling related and that sort of thing. So let me just forgive me. I'm just kind of getting set up right here. We tried to come on live as soon as possible. That way we were able to kind of get to your guys' questions and, you know, not do this too late or anything like that either. But we got a lot to talk about. Aaron, man, kick us off, brother. I mean, look, WrestleMania is back. It's back in the flesh. Yeah, it's back. Literally, you know, live crowds. I mean, this is a big deal, obviously, right? Like we feel like this is something that, you know, was totally missed. I don't know about you, but I felt like pretty emotional doing watching everything. I felt emotional with McMahon. I was hoping McMahon would come out and address the crowd. What did you think about that?
You know what? I gotta echo what you're saying. You know, it was emotional. If you're old school fans like us, if you're Attitude Era fans, you know, if you're digging the new promotions that are up now, I mean, you look at this weekend and seeing the live crowds and everything, and you know, it did the heart good as a wrestling fan to see, you know, live audiences. You know, and you could tell that the performers really fed off of that. You know, having Vince come out and doing his famous, you know, welcome to WrestleMania. You know, it sounds corny, man, but I got the goosebumps. It was
me too. Me too.
Emotional.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was interesting because, man, like I felt like there was so many like little emotion. And little sort of feeling. How do I explain this? Basically, you know, it didn't get off to a good start. Let's be honest. The weather. Pardon me.
With the rain delay you're talking about, or
the rain and storm delay and stuff like that. Like, talk about a fucking. Oh, excuse me. Talk about a friggin' curveball, because you know this is something that we've been waiting for over a year, and I think Drew McIntyre said it best. He was like, you're not going to take this away from me. And I think as fans, all of us kind of felt that same emotion where it's like, please, for the love of God, just don't cancel tonight for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like we really, really needed this. So I thought that they did a great job, first and foremost, before we get into the matches. because it is important to talk about. I thought they did a good job delaying everything. Stall tactics, backstage interviews, just pumping up a little bit more. I know we saw it on the pre-show. I get it. But, there's a difference between, showing the promo and the build-up and past Raws and SmackDown and showing a live interview with the wrestler before their match. And that's something, dude, that we used to see all the time back in the day.
Yeah. That's they would have either Sean Mooney or Mean Gene, in the back giving people interviews right before the matches. They were probably pre-taped. We know that now, but as kids watching that, you thought, okay, they're getting ready to go out, and this is how they're feeling about it. So
right, absolutely, and it was kind of like weird, like Mother Nature doing all that thing just to kind of give us like an old school throwback feel to that original sort of vibe. So it was almost like kind of fitting, like kind of like it was going back to the roots and how it used to be and stuff like that. So I, for one, really kind of appreciated it in a way. I felt like it didn't take away from the anticipation and the relaunch, so to speak, of the live crowd, WrestleMania, the whole sort of experience. I was kind of worried about how things were going to pan out with the rain. I don't know. I mean, look, you tell me, but I didn't really hear too much about it raining throughout the show. I couldn't really quite see it. Like, did you see anything like that?
Well, I think I saw later on social media because, to be honest, and we'll get to that, I kind of tuned out the two women's tag team matches. But I think one of them, the Australian girl there with the black hair, I forget her name.
Billie Kay.
I think she wiped out on the ramp going down or something, didn't she? Because it was
no, that was Mandy Rose.
Okay.
Mandy Rose came out with Mandy Rose came out with Dana Brooke.
Okay.
And she was trailing a little bit behind it, and she just kind of did a little slip, like how you slip on ice kind of outside where we are. It was one of those, and then she just kind of, or it kind of seemed like that, unless it was like a foot malfunction or something like that.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Okay. Well, there was one of those too, apparently. I don't remember with who right now, but
I don't know if you noticed though, but Randy really took his time getting, even more so than usual. I know you like Randy, but he took his time getting down to the ring, and if you notice, he kept wiping his feet. He wiped his feet before he climbed up the stairs. Then, traditionally a lot of wrestlers, they'll wipe their feet before stepping through the ropes and stuff.
True.
So, it might have been, some leftover, mildew in the air or whatnot,
Well, I think he was kind of trolling Mandy Rose. He kind of did like this pretend, I slipped. Okay. I don't know if you saw that, but he was like, oh, And I think that was, well, we know him from being a little bit of a little bit of a troll, a little bit of somebody that kind of stirs the pot. So, and he does that super well. But listen, I'm like, look, we got a lot to cover. We'll try to cover as much as we can.
Let's get into it.
Listen, we had a decent card. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I was feeling night one so much more than the show tonight.
Definitely.
It just had a better flow. Looking back at it now, hindsight's always 20/20. But when you look at it, it's like, man, going into the pay-per-view, I was like, I would probably flip this match and this match. Like, I probably would have put like Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon tonight, and I probably would have taken like, let's say, even like that Bad Bunny match. I probably would have thrown tonight. I felt like that could have helped the evening. I felt like it was very lopsided. Like, I was talking to my wife about it. She says, like, I don't know about this 2-night WrestleMania thing. The vibe seems off. And I said, I don't know if it's because it's on 2 nights. I don't think so, because I woke up today and I was excited that wrestling was on again.
Yeah.
I just think it was just the flow of the evening. I felt like, the night started off weird. But again, we'll get into night 2 in just a little bit. But
I think because night 2 was viewed, or at least it was promoted as, the main night, Saturday was the feel good moments, but Sunday was, the let's get serious type of matches. I mean, there was 4 title matches on tonight versus what they had one of the
3,
women.
I think. They had they had the turmoil match to go on for today, so okay, but that doesn't count. So you had the WWE Championship, which we'll talk about in a second. You also had the Tag Team Championship, and then you had the SmackDown Women's. So you're right, there was a little bit of an imbalance. I mean, nothing crazy, but still, like, what? That's bad. If night 2 had 4 over 3 and 3 was better, what the hell?
But like we were texting each other, during the night, there was a lot of filler on night 2. I felt.
Oh, bro. Honestly, I felt like this. Like night 2 just really like there was moments where I'm like, is this even WrestleMania tonight?
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I felt like it was WrestleMania.
It was like a fast lane or like an in your house or one of those pay-per-views they have in between the big 4.
Yes, I was gonna say that. So look, let's talk about night 1 and then we'll get into obviously night 2 and the issues that I guess I had with it, and probably maybe a bunch of you guys, who knows?
Yeah.
So Bobby Lashley defeats Drew McIntyre. First and foremost, awesome promo by Drew McIntyre before the match. I was really feeling that emotion. Like I believe him as this, big, tough, emotional, nice guy kind of deal, but like don't screw around with him. I felt that pain when he was like, they're not going to take this away from me.
Mother Nature's not going to take this away from me.
Dude, because COVID, took his moment away last year. And then here he is trying to get his WrestleMania again moment for a championship. And look, this isn't the first time he's been on WrestleMania. Like his debut comeback match on WrestleMania, obviously back in the day with Money in the Bank and stuff and whatever else he might have done in between. I don't know. But I do remember that he had a big match against Roman Reigns, not for a title or anything, a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But it was still, pretty high marquee match. I mean, it was Roman Reigns, his first match. So that was a big testament of McMahon believing in this guy. And all that being said, I felt like he delivered, in my opinion. I'm a little bit biased towards Drew because he is one of my favorites. But, I like to think that I have pretty good taste in who I choose as my favorites. McIntyre for me is a main event player right now, and he showed it in this match. I felt like he kind of carried a little bit of the whole match because Bobby hasn't really had that sort of experience in a main event match, and Drew can say, hey, he's been in the ring with Roman Reigns. He beat Lesnar last year. These are big names, man. And I don't want to say he carried the match, but it sure as hell looked like he dominated a lot for Lashley. And then Lashley got away with the victory, but he didn't really dominate the way a real champion should. So I don't know if I was okay with that finish. Not necessarily the result, bro, but more like how it went. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would say he carried the company. It's not even remotely true, but I mean, he was the top guy for the better part of last year.
Yep.
And it was disappointing that he didn't get to win because all year people like you and I who are fans of Drew said, you know what, he's not as over with the fans as he probably would have been had he won the title last year in front of a packed crowd.
Fuck, no kidding. I mean, we saw the reaction at Royal Rumble. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm disappointed at that fact. WrestleMania is viewed as kind of the reset button to a new year.
Totally agree.
So with Bobby Lashley going over, like, where do we go from here?
Well, this is what I was gonna say. It's like I felt like Drew winning, like it seemed how do I say it? It kind of seemed like it was one of those situations where you could have gone either way. I'm not really necessarily upset with the ending because what I am sort of confused on is the fact that, Drew is not going to be really the type of dude to go for the IC title.
No.
He doesn't really.
He's a main
He's a main Carter, man. Like you can't see him going for a lesser title right now. It just doesn't suit him right now.
No.
Now, look, anything can change in years to come. Look, at some point, I'm sure all of us said, like, John Cena would never go for a mid-card belt ever again. then he goes and flips the world upside down with the U.S. Open Championship title, right?
Yeah.
Challenge.
But not everybody can do that.
Not everybody can do that. And here's the thing, that took a long time for him to happen. And I feel like Drew McIntyre solidified himself as a big time player, not just in WWE, but in the world. And his spot right now is basically, in my opinion, if he's not going for a title, he's going to be in some sort of program that either helps solidify himself furthermore or another talent, like helping bringing up another talent to that level. Like say, for instance, let's say if he was ever to turn heel, I could see him sort of elevating like a Big E or putting Big E over in a contest in order to propel Big E to the title main event or something like that. As far as Bobby Lashley goes, tricky question. I mean, look, technically speaking, I don't think McIntyre has a right to have a rematch right now.
No.
Dude, who's gonna go after him? And I don't know. I felt like the finish of that match. I mean, the Hurt Lock is the Hurt Lock. I get it, but there wasn't really a lot. I mean, I felt like Drew really got a lot of offense in, and all of a sudden it was like Hurt Lock time and it was over. So I get it. You're trying to make it seem like, Bobby's finisher is like the end all be all, but I don't know if I bought into the hype behind Bobby Lashley going forward as champion. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why is it that baby faces don't tap out to submissions anymore? Because I feel that, it's harking back to when Bret Hart had Austin in the sharpshooter, and rather than giving up, he wanted to show that he was, a badass.
Right.
And rather than tapping out, he passed out. And that's just become now this overused cop-out.
Right. Absolutely. So
I mean, I understand you want to keep the person strong, but I feel that it's being overused. And I mean, we saw it again tonight. It's like it just seems like whenever there's a submission, it's like the person would rather pass out than tap out. And I don't know. Anyway, that's probably a topic for another day.
Yeah.
I mean, where's Keith Lee? I mean, Keith Lee would probably be a prime candidate to try to elevate, but I mean, he's had very little exposure on the main roster.
Yeah.
So it's like, who else is lined up for Bobby Lashley?
I don't know. That's the tricky part. Like right now, I'm having a little bit of a hard time understanding that and figuring out, okay, what's his next move, this guy?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see because it doesn't look like this stream was posted on the Thunderdome group. I'm going to have to probably try this again. I think they made me a moderator, and I think I'm going to have to do it one more time. So Aaron, do you mind hanging in there? We're just going to re-upload this, and everything's going to change. We'll pick up right where we left off. Sound good?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. All right.